Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Is it possible to request for extension for question time?
Yes.
The question is that the question time be extended to by 20 minutes. Those in favor, please stand. The honourable member, you may know that number law extended. Honourable member for above.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker, for asking me to maybe the last question. My question without notice goes to the Honourable Minister for Intergovernment Relations. Yesterday, Honourable Assistant Speaker, the Minister did advise the Parliament and the country that in the budget there is about over 100 million allocated for the coming local level government elections. Today, as we are speaking, it's only 5 weeks to go before the REACH are issued on the 24th of April. And as you and I know, 5 weeks is a very short time. There is a lot of apprehension out there amongst managers of elections, provincial election advisory committees, returning officers, etc., and the issue of updated electoral roll and everything. And then 2 formats of presidential election, one by the people and in the Highlands region and Morobe by the ward members. And so I have 3 questions, Honourable Assistant Speaker. The first one is, I understand that there is about 19 million worth of checks yet to be approved, and we are running out of time. When will those be cleared so that Electoral Commissioner can start having funds to make the election work? That's the first question. Second question is, I understand, like in every other elections, both national and local level governments, that you will be asking the provincial governments and the district development authorities help you with the coming elections. When will you issue those instructions? And how much are we going to allocate to help in the LLG elections? If that is going to be your instructions, where is this, when is the funds going to be released to the provinces and the districts? Maybe you are expecting from the DSIPs. If we are going to be helped, and if you agree, if you admit that you are going to give instructions to provincial governors and administrators and DDAs to help you in the forthcoming elections. And I must admit that we need to help each other. I think in the LLG elections, I think the provincial government and district authorities should be able to help, but we need the funds also, and we only got 5 weeks left before the REACH are issued. The last question, Assistant Speaker, is over the years in LLG elections and national elections, we've always asked provincial governments and local level governments to help. Mr. Minister, through you, Assistant Speaker, would you have any plans to transfer the functions of local level governments to provincial governments rather than national government taking responsibility? Because there's so much Waigani swamp issues, procrastinating, warranting issues, management issues, roll update issues from Waigani to provinces, ward recorder not being allowed to present, all those issues are. And I believe that provincial governments and local level governments can do all these administrative functions better. Would you agree that your government should now plan to transfer the powers of holding local level governments to the provincial governments. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Mr. Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and I thank the Honorable Puka Temu, member for above, for his very important questions at this juncture of our history, particularly as we prepare for LRG election, which I made reference to yesterday in response to questions being raised by member for Karamui. And thank you for the issues that you have raised. They are very critical and important issues that we should be mindful of as we prepare for this important election. As we know, LLG, local level government, is defined under Constitution, and therefore it's a creature of Constitution and a very important part of our government system, just as national government is and provincial government are. I did mention yesterday about the funding issue, and funding issue has been identified, and Mr. Assistant Speaker, it's 180 million kina. We would have not gone ahead if we had not consulted Electoral Commissioner, because by law, my ministry can organize LLG elections, but to conduct it, it's a responsibilities of Electoral Commission. And therefore, that responsibility in terms of conducting and also how funds are to be utilized lies with Electoral Commission or Electoral Commissioner. And so as you made reference to 90 million kina floating checks, I'll leave that matter to Electoral Commissioner as well as, of course, government to look at. But given the importance of this election, we cannot defer it any longer. We need to have third level government functioning on the ground, and therefore the election is going ahead. After this, I will be in close consultation with my colleague Minister, the Minister Assistant Prime Minister, Honorable Richard Masere. We'll continue to liaise and talk to each other about how this LRG election is progressing. So, in so far as your first question is concerned, I think I've answered that. The issue, as I said, the issue of 80 million, so 90 million kina floating checks, in so far as Electoral Commission is concerned, we'll leave that matter to Electoral Commission, but our priority is to organize this election, and the funds that are therefore allocated must be used for that purpose, solely for that purpose, so that our third level government is functioning. I didn't really get what you were referring to your second question, but third question you referred to is transferring the function of LLG to provinces. It's a good suggestion. It's something that we can continue to look at as we look at reforming provincial government systems, especially when LLGs are in the rural communities where much of them are located in the provinces. But these are issues that we can look at into the future as to how we can improve the functions of LLG on the ground. If they were to still exist in the national level as it has been, then so be it. But if we think otherwise, if we think LLG administrative LLG governments can exist at a provincial level, and then that's issues that we need to look at. But we need to find best solutions so that we can deliver to our people. Because LLGs are where the majority of our people are. That's where we should be, reaching out to our people. That's where we should be ensuring that there's a government presence. And so the reforms that we have done are basically to do with that. Yesterday I did cover, particularly the leaders that we are looking at in terms of...
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order. Honourable Member, what
Thank
is
you,
your
Mr.
point of order?
Speaker. The point of order is Minister is diverting away from the three simple questions. One is there are not 90 floating, but there is 19 million worth of checks that earmarked for the elections, but they haven't been cleared yet. And second question was, will the districts and provincial governments, will you give instructions to provinces and districts to help you in the local level government elections?
Minister?
Thank you. I think in relation to your second issue, I think there's understanding that LG election or any election for that matter is a collective issue. And that's where provincial government and national government come together, including districts, in sharing costs so that we can minimize the cost, but more importantly, we do the election so that we have third level government on the ground. So if you're referring to what I've said, we should be looking at shared responsibilities, just like any other issues that we are looking at. I think we have also looked at the issue about census. It's the same thing. We cannot just say it's a national government's responsibilities. It should be provincial government as well as open members. And that's where we come in to try and minimize the responsibilities or the issues that we have to address so that we can adequately address the issue of LFG election on the ground. Because if we make a mistake and if there's no third level government, then we have a problem on the ground. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.